Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to a Monday night, either a stream by the Crossroads or a Spork of Ice and Fire. Kind of weighing that one out because I kind of should have thought of that years ago. Thank you for coming here. It's Monday night. We like to talk Song of Ice and Fire books, theories, shows, and joining me tonight is, as always, Mr. Grant Gregory. How are you, Grant?
I'm super excited to be back talking about the world of Song of Ice and Fire. I'm very excited for this new upcoming season that I just realized today that I have to wait over 370 days before I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gives us more time to talk about stuff, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, you know, they want us to, it's almost like they're like, George has made you wait 12 years. So now you need to, wait for the show.
Another 4.
Yeah, exactly. But also thank you for being here. We have the lovely Tina Bad Take Bojan. How are you?
I am doing fine. I hope everybody else is doing great.
I hope they are too. And we also have, sounding crystal clear tonight, Mason from the Free Folk of the Fandom.
How's everyone doing tonight? I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to get to talking about all the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. Yeah.
Your stuff sounds good, man. It's very clear. You upgraded or something. I'm happy for you. We also have in the chat, One Man Show is here saying greetings and salutations. We have Zombie Box Reviews. Andy's a great guy. Check him out. Shorts Spotlight. Guessing that is a YouTube channel, so I would check that out too. And Alex is here too. Alex Moore and other people will be rolling in. My Monday night show has not been around for a while, so it's nice to slowly get back into it. So, yeah, guys, I've been missing talking A Song of Ice and Fire with you guys. Most of all, I miss not hearing my voice in my ears. This is bothering me. I got to figure this out. But what have you guys seen? Well, other than what we're talking about tonight, like how they are filming season 2 amidst the strike, and they have their reasons, I guess. We're also going to go over, and please in the chat, if you have a favorite A Song of Ice and Fire theory, please put it in there and we'll go over it. You can put it in the YouTube chat, you can put it in the Rumble chat. I'll bring up even Twitch, put it in the Twitch chat. But thank you for being here if you're watching Rumble, and make sure if you're on Rumble, please follow me. Because quite a few people watch. I don't know if all are actually subscribed, and also 25% of you on YouTube are not subscribed. So why not just give a brother a subscription? I don't care if you ding the bell. I know everybody says ding the bell. I don't care. Just subscribe.
You know what? You shouldn't subscribe and then don't ding the bell. Be a rebel.
Yeah, be a rebel. I'm down with that. I am so down with that. So anything that you've heard other than the filming thing? Grant, we were talking about the 2-year thing. I think that's kind of a big deal because, like you were saying, 5 seasons. So what was
5 seasons. So if they're doing 2 years between each season, so we're looking at they said 5 seasons. So we're looking at 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot can happen in 10 years, especially if you've got a character that's going to be around for that entire time, or at least the majority of it.
Right.
Like. What happens if something happens to that's how long I've been out of the loop. I can't even remember the names. Rhaenyra's actress.
Rhaenyra is
Emma Darcy.
Emma D'Arcy.
Yeah.
Emma D'Arcy. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. What happens? Well, if something happens with her, that means we're gonna have to have another change of actress. Like, I think they need to strike while the iron is hot. But the problem was, I don't think they realized what they had. They were still worried about. I mean, Mason, you touched on it earlier about the fear. You want to go more into that?
Yeah. So the 2-year thing is only going to be between season 1 and 2 because they had season 2 planned out, but they were wanting more episodes, so they cut that in half. So we're going to get 8 episodes this year and 8 episodes next year if everything. Like if there's no longer a strike or anything.
So in a way, it is actually 16 episode season, or are they going to consider it 2 and 3, or is it going to be like what other people are doing? It's like season 2, like a break, and then the rest of season 2.
I think you're just going to say 2 and 3.
Okay. All right.
All
right. Yeah. I look. At least they're giving us 8. Like I'm sick of this only 8 thing. I rather it be give me at least 10 episodes, for a season, but whatever we can get. I mean, the thing is if they do the 2-year thing, let's just say they do, because okay, so you're going to film 16 episodes, you're going to do one season 2, one season 3 the next year. So I guess during that time you're filming even more, because if you're not keeping up on it, like this is only supposed to be between a 2-year war. So you can't allow these people to age too much, like during the filming. Like you can see the difference between Emilia Clarke from season 1 to season, 8, but that was a 10-year thing, but she was only supposed to age about a year and a half. So I don't know.
And she had way more clothes on by the end of it.
I know. Sucked. So sucked, man. I don't know why, but so I want to bring this up. Mr. Big Wig Magic AG Lig Vietnam Ham Jam Fig Stig Australian $2.
I want to say that properly. It's not Vietnam. Have a reread.
Vietnam.
No, it's Vietnam.
Vietnam. Yep.
Mr. Big Wig Majig AG Lig Vietnam Ham Jam Fig Stig.
Wow.
Thank you, Tina.
Finally.
No problem.
And this person says finally. I think they meant finally. Back about damn time. Yeah, we've been taking too much time off on the Monday nights. A lot of just life, work, family. It's hard to keep up when you work almost 7 days a week. Like I went to work at 4 a.m. this morning. So, now it's 8:12 p.m. Eastern. So a little tired, but I would like to grow this thing. So subscribe and become a channel member. You might not get much, but you'll support me. Isn't that enough?
You don't even have to ring a bell.
Right. You don't have to ding a bell. I'll ding your bell. Whoa. Yeah. So season 2, oh shit. I saw an article today and they're still filming. A lot of other places, other sets, other locations decided we are not filming during the writers and actors strike. But House of the Dragon said, screw you. So
because they're not Hollywood. That's the point. This is a nothing burger. This whole secondary strike garbage crap. These are actual actors that are doing it. I mean, maybe it's because they're all doing it in England.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't it the SAG strike, Screen Actors Guild strike, or is it just an actors strike?
No,
if you're not a member. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
sorry,
don't cut off Tina.
Maybe since SAG is an American union, maybe if you don't have to be a member of SAG in order to work on shows like this that film abroad. I don't know.
You don't. Even if you are a member, you don't have to strike.
Well, I know that they're saying that to up and coming actors. They made a statement today from Fran Drescher that any individual who is not yet a member of SAG that performs a paid job during the strike will never be admitted to SAG.
Good. That's exactly the mentality that they need to have.
Yeah.
So that way
there's
going to be a
working.
completely separate union or anything that's going on, because they've drawn a line in the stance saying we as multimillionaires are telling you young actors who cannot afford to not work, you can't work because we want more money.
I mean, that is what it means to be in a union.
Yeah.
So it sucks. Don't get me wrong, but to be in a union, you do it as one. And if you cross the line, you're a scab, and it sucks because there's always going to be people that are prepared for it. And there's always going to be people that can't afford it.
But
so it's like,
the problem is the biggest voices are coming from those who have the most little to lose.
Of course.
And that's the dumbest thing. And I mean,
the
problem was the last time we had the big strike, the ones who crossed one of the main ones who crossed the picket line was, the idiots who are responsible for Star Wars and all that sort of shit. They were the ones who ended up doing. So it didn't cost them anything. They, in fact, went up every time that they failed. They failed in an upward direction.
Right. Yeah, it's, what, dude, I feel for the younger people or anybody who is not a true A or B lister. You know what I mean? Like, even below that, whatever you own, you probably can't really afford. And there's working actors that support their families with doing commercials and things like that. once you get your card, though, you are committing that I'm in this guild. I'm getting their benefits. I'm getting their health care. So if they strike, you
no
strike
extra
too.
benefits or healthcare. That's the whole point.
They get health care.
Well, only if you make $26,000 a year. So all your very low-paid actors who are maybe have bit parts and are full-time, waiters or whatever, there's supplemental income. Well, they're without any money, and they also don't have any health care.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
They also don't consider extras as actors. They don't consider people who do commercials as a living as actors. There's certain restrictive things that you can have in there. You can have someone who is one of the best TV commercial actors on the planet, but just doesn't do a film. Yeah.
So can she still work?
Who?
Right? If she is not in the Screen Actors Guild because she's a commercial actor, I guess
I don't know who Flo is.
Flo. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're freaking from the other side of the planet. Flo, she's the is it Allstate? It's an insurance company woman. She does like these insurance company commercials. She's been doing them for like over a decade.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the 80s runner with really long nails for some reason.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's Flo from Alice.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? They were waitresses?
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, no. But I went as her as one Halloween in college. I had long hair then, go figure. I had ponytails and messed up, like really. Yeah, I was an ugly girl.
So you were going as Courtney Cox?
I was going, you know what? I'm kind of a hipster. Like before it was, in fad, I was already doing it, and then once they all started doing it, I was like, I'll keep my penis. Please subscribe. Yeah, so I personally, for me, like, I support unions, and I also see the side of the union that what unions are becoming. Like, they just protect the losers. And I get that. But without unions, a lot of people would be forced to work 12-hour days every day, and they wouldn't get any safety.
The government, the federal government has laws against all of that nowadays. So what gets me about the unions is I grew up with my dad fighting every year for a 15-cent raise when he paid quadruple that per hour in union dues. Yeah.
Well, see, I've been part of unions where my dues aren't that much, and they have helped. So I can't really like knock them. But I was also in a healthcare union that sucked. And like, they were like, we got you 2% over 2-year raise. And it's like, oh, thanks, man. So I get it.
Be careful about saying paying your dues. You start to add a little bit of a J sound to it, just to let you know.
No, whoa. Yeah, no, I'll just say it. She has other screen credits, so I would say she has to strike. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. All right, maybe Flo is out. She ain't flowing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're saying you've got to do this for the greater good. This is the whole like communist style mentality. The greater good. It's the biggest message that has been pushed for unions for years.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that one of our major political parties is based on a union party. The Labour Party was a union party, and the leader of the biggest union in Australia ended up becoming Prime Minister.
Okay.
So unions are a very big part of the Australian sort of culture, but I don't recognize what unions are now. It's completely different. The fact of the matter is, as you said, you've got to put 15 cents an hour for your fees. By the way, we gave you a 7 cents raise over 3 years. Okay, cool.
Well, that's a shitty union.
Now I'm only down 21 cents an hour over 3. Like,
but see, that's not the union. That is the company, not the union fighting and the company not giving anything. And so you should
the union not fighting hard enough.
Well, that's
they got their fat wallets packed with political affiliations and wasting all of that union dues money on having political events courting favor from politicians as opposed to using the money to pay for insurance and suing the company when
but that's old school union mentality, Tim. That's the problem. This new version of unions is millionaires versus billionaires, and we're supposed to care as the people who can't even make enough to be thousandaires.
Right. I mean, you can. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It really does. Like, at the local level, I see unions working, but it takes the people in the union being willing to you got to be willing to lose to win type mentality, and not taking shit from the company that
on a
they're
small scale. That's what I'm saying. Unions do not work on a national scale.
No, not
So
national.
there's no way
They
in the
could be
world-
national,
no-
but you have to have local chapters.
Yeah, there's no way in the world that you're going to be able to do it internationally. So if they're filming stuff over in the UK and people are having a go at them,
Mhm.
you just tell them, go get fucked. Get lost, you know? This you've got no power over here. I'm over here on the other side of the planet. I'm over here on the other side of the planet, filming my ass off on a frozen beach, which has just got rocks because England doesn't have proper beaches.
Mhm.
And you're telling me that I don't have the right to earn any money.
Yeah, what sucks is
Because
that
you living in your mansion in LA
right,
want more money.
right.
Because
Well,
you're
I
the
get
head of
that.
it. Like Fran
get that.
Drescher's almost a billionaire. Like she's worth $340-something million. Like it's ridiculous that the fact that she's made
The
more
nanny
money.
made her that rich.
No. It's yes, she got
Or
a
the-
huge amount of what do they call it? Did you
Residuals.
get paid residuals? Yeah. But not just that. No, she's made more money being in the head of SAG.
Yep.
See, that's messed up. That's what I can't stand. See, like my union.
Why do you think she hasn't started
it's
acting
It's
ever?
a long story.
more?
I'll tell you guys afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. I really do. And let's read to see how they're getting around it, because I would like to know, because you can't tell me they're not in SAG. They don't have cards because they're all Hollywood. A lot of them are Hollywood stars. What does that say? The reason David Tennant had to change his legal name to Tennant is because of SAG. Even a stage name has rules.
Right. That's why Michael J. Fox is Michael J. Fox, because he couldn't be Michael Fox because it was already a Michael Fox. So, but his middle name is an A, so Michael A. Fox would have sounded really lame, like he was full of himself, like saying Michael's A. Fox. So that's why they just picked J.
He's definitely a math.
Yeah, probably changing his name gave him. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think Harrison Ford had to do that too.
Really? You want to finish that joke?
Nope. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I was going there though. I was going there. You felt it, didn't you? Harrison Ford too, huh?
I was shaking in my boots.
Harrison Ford too, huh? Guys, stop. I meant to hit giggle first. Shit. Yeah. What were you saying, Mason? Because that sounded very interesting.
Harrison Ford, when he was getting started acting, he had to find he had to say Harrison J. Ford or something like that for his stage name.
Mm-hmm.
So multiple people can't have the same name in acting?
Exactly. You can't have two SAG registered actors with the same name. So even if you haven't gotten famous yet or even qualified to apply to join SAG, you don't want to pick a name that's already there, because then you're going to have to change your name, and then people will go, oh, who was Joe Schmo over here, but over here they got a different name.
Oh, so then there was there was never a Matt Smith in SAG ever. Like, that's Matt Smith is a pretty common name. No one ever had a card.
M-A-T-T. He's double T.
Yeah, a lot of people are double T.
No, most Matts aren't.
Oh, in America they are. M-A-T-T. Most Matts I know are double T. Like one T.
As their legal name?
Yeah. Well, no,
Matthew?
that's Matthew. You're right. When they write their, I guess, not legal name, but it's M-A-T-T. Most Matts I know, one T would be like, what am I, a doormat? You know?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Who's the most famous John Smith that you know that's an actor? Like, it's the most common name on the planet. Like,
let me think. John Smith. I don't know.
There was a guy who did 2 commercials in the 80s.
So no one else could be Matt Smith.
He's still a member.
Or John Smith, because he's still a member. Yeah. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is so stupid. Wow, why? It makes no sense. Like, oh, sorry, you got to change your name because there's a dude who had a card, hasn't worked in years, but
he pays his membership.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's so dumb. Oh man, no wonder they're on strike. They're idiots. Let's see. All right, so though much of Hollywood is at a standstill due to the writers and actors strike, one beloved HBO series will continue to forge ahead. According to Variety, filming on House of the Dragon will carry on as scheduled. That's because the Game of Thrones prequel series features a cast of primarily UK-based actors whose contracts are governed by the local union
Equity.
Equity. I was going to say equality. I'm like, that's not right. As such, equity members aren't legally allowed to strike in solidarity with SAG-AFTRA, their union's U.S. counterpart. Okay, so could they be double members, or they can only be members of one? So SAG is only American?
Perhaps. I don't
'Cause
know.
it's
The
I mean, I
Hollywood
guess maybe you could
industry.
join both
Yeah.
if you want to pay dues to both.
What do you think there, Mr. Mason?
SAG is only in America, so any sort of television or movies or anything in Hollywood, you have to go through SAG.
So let's say Matt Smith was working in Hollywood, he would have a SAG card. Like he would use his SAG card. I'm guessing he's part of both unions.
You don't have to be. It's not like this is what you have to do.
Oh, so there aren't studios that say you have to be a SAG member to work here?
There's probably executives that say yes, you have to, because they've probably got a stake in it. But there's definitely ways around it.
Okay.
It's a club.
Well, yeah. It's just a.
I think that productions have to have a certain percentage of members be union members.
Yeah, if you want to be able to get if in California, if you want to get the tax break for filming there, you have to have a certain amount of XYZ sort of thing, and that's part
makes
of
sense.
it.
Like a certain amount of people of this diversity and this sexuality.
Well, I'm saying also
that's a
SAG
new one
members.
too. Oh, and also SAG members. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could almost do like a 2 birds, 1 stone if you get like, a.
Do you think that's not the reason why they push certain members?
You have a valid point, dude. Valid point. Equity issued a statement Thursday in which its members vowed to support SAG by all lawful means. Sorry, I'm going to back this up a little bit. But added that SAG members working under a collective bargaining agreement with the UK union should continue to report to work. Okay, so you can be part of both. Okay. Standing together, we will work to achieve the wages and working conditions that all performers deserve, the statement continued. I guess it continued somewhere else. In a separate statement, Equity General Secretary Paul W. Fleming wrote that his group stands full square behind our sister union in their claim and the action their board have agreed to take. He went on to say, but you're Americans, and we don't support you because you beat us. Oh, he didn't say that. Maybe he said that to somebody else. Still, he stressed, we have been advised by SAG that its strike is lawful according to United States law, but we have been advised by our UK lawyers that is not lawful under United Kingdom laws. And that's a big deal. You have to get your strike federally recognized in America. If it is not federal, they could fire everybody. So your strike, like if local, 552 of the plumbers union or the Boilermakers, let's just say, in Idaho wants to strike, they literally have to have international, go through the federal government and get it legal. And if it's legal, then they can strike. If not, they can't strike because the company could, if they do strike, the company could fire them all and hire new people.
Yeah, all their demands are deemed above the scope of the pay grade. Like if all the Boilermakers say we all need Mercedes-Benz to go to work, that's what we're striking for, then they can also be
right. It has to be an idea of like working conditions, pay.
Yes.
But it also, if it is not legal, if it is legal, they do not have the right to fire everybody. I think the company can't.
It
give
depends
away
how
your
big
job.
the company is, because you can do it. You just have to deal with the litigation afterwards.
Exactly. You have to be able to afford the lawsuit. But I think the reason
Amazon
why they added
dealt
that
with this exact thing recently. Sorry, Katie, you go.
Oh, no, sweet. The reason that they added the federal approval is because when the pilots and the air traffic controllers went on strike, they shut down the industry and nobody could travel. So Reagan said, "Nah, can't do that anymore."
Well, it was just like the trains.
Right, exactly.
Right. So that was Reagan who passed that law. So
I know it at least was Reagan who dealt with the pilots and the air traffic controllers.
Yeah, anything that like anything
railroad.
that deals with, right, like transportation, like
Mhm.
like across state lines and things like that, the government most likely will squash it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Consequently, a performer joining the strike or refusing to cross a picket line in the UK will have no protection against being dismissed or sued for breach of contract by the producer or the engager.
And that's the biggest thing. You've got to understand when it comes to contract laws in Commonwealth countries are taken extremely seriously. You do not break a contract if you sign one.
Right.
If you decide that I'm not going to do this for XYZ reason, unless it's in your clause, you're pretty much up shit creek.
Right. In America, they could find a reason.
They probably is because America has been good at finding reasons way in the past. So you've got a precedent where in a lot of the Commonwealth countries it hasn't been that way.
Right.
So there's no we can't use what happened in Tennessee in 1964 as a precedent for the reason why we don't have to do this, because it's a completely different country, different jurisdiction.
Right. So it's like most likely it's because like in court in the Commonwealth or in England, you all wear wigs and we don't.
Wait, your judges don't wear wigs?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's so gay.
I would totally, right? Like, shouldn't you have a huge powdered wig on and maybe like powder your face and put a mole? Like, I just thought.
No,
like,
that's to me that's weird as well. That's only in our high court end.
Yeah, they're high. They're totally high if they're wearing those damn wigs. Like, it's like, we get it, dude. Okay, you're in the upper crust of life. Like, it's not 1782.
Well, no, because they're all bald men. It's literally just a rule that they brought in for themselves to not feel terrible. And then the designer went, you know what, I'm going to mess with these, and just gave them all white curly wigs.
It's freaking awesome.
Do the solicitors have to wear wigs also, or is it just the
No?
judges? Oh, okay.
It always makes me think of Johns when you say that, like some dude trying to pick up a prostitute. Solicitors. Likewise,
a lot of them do.
Yeah, you never know. If Equity encourages anyone to join the strike or not cross a picket line, Equity itself will be acting unlawfully and hence liable for damages or an injunction. The first season of House of the Dragon premiered on HBO last year to mixed reviews. Really mixed? I thought it was most people.
Who the hell had mixed reviews? We were the critics.
Yeah, and we're the ones that loved it.
Yeah,
we should open up that
We will. We're going to go back to that. Yeah, I think.
Oh no, I didn't mean now. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
No.
After this, we're going
do
back
it now.
To it. Yeah, right now.
Maybe they're referring to like at the beginning when we were worried about it, when it was like, oh, Rhaenys, a woman, was passed up, and we are all kind of like looking at it, and the thing with like Corlys, Valerion.
Oh, maybe that's why they think
referring
mixed
to.
Reviews. Oh, that might make sense, man, because we were like, Black Valerians. I mean, like,
good thinking, Mason.
Still have some issues with that, but that's all right because the actor did a great job.
I was gonna say, who's not a fan of him? Like, I mean, like, legitimately,
like I'm with you, man. Like, we literally said after a couple episodes, like, okay, I completely like the book, this series, the series. The only thing that does bother me is like they're trying to say that the series is what really happened. And that really bothers me because they're leaving out little things and they're taking turns where they really shouldn't, because like it's not the same as any of the storylines we've heard or any of the, different accounts of what happened. So like it kind of bothers me, but I just pretend like it's its own series and I enjoy it for what it is.
That makes sense.
You really are going to make me do that? I don't want to.
Yeah, even the people that Amazon paid to shill Rings of Power ended up liking House of the Dragon better.
Right. Literally read one story from the Times and they're like, you reached your limit. So I'm going to put this in the private chat if someone can bring this article up.
So if they're saying that this series is actual canon for the books, does that mean that Mushroom doesn't exist?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're saying someone trying to say Mushroom was in one episode.
Yeah.
No. There was a short person playing a flute.
That is not freaking Mushroom, dude.
But he was credited as Mushroom, I believe.
I know. I think he was. Or was he credited? I think he was. I think you're right, Mason, and that's dumb. I'm sorry, that is dumb. Mushroom should be a much bigger deal. You know,
dude, it's his story. He's telling the story. That's where
he's one of two.
We get a third of the information from this guy. A majority of it comes from. He's so dumb.
It's all the saucy stuff too. That's what gets me. You know, it's like,
and they've included some of that saucy stuff in there.
Right. It's crazy.
And Peter Dinklage probably caused that because when he was talking about the Snow White thing.
Yeah, man, he was like, screwed that up, man.
Oh my goodness, you can't hire dwarves. You can't hire short people. People of short.
I'm telling you, man.
People of short. I like that term. I'm going to use that. You can call them. You can call them POSs.
Oh no, that's horrible.
I always say vertically challenged, but all right, that's a good.
But I mean, there can't be. I'm sorry to sound wrong, but I mean, there can't be that many little people as registered SAG actors, right? I mean, compared to how many parts are out there.
Well, no, there is a height limit. There is a height limit, Tina. So
yeah, I mean, if you just want to say it, say it. No, you're right though. There probably isn't the idea though that he would take something that is so beloved in culture and destroy giving 7 guys and gals because they would have had females in there.
Technically, it's 6. You've seen the photo. There's only 1 little person out of the dwarves.
Yeah, so. That's messed up,
And
dude.
Dobby was a little tall for a dwarf,
and they called him tiny. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on, like, really?
Well,
that's your solution? Did
they give them their names? Because I was wondering if they were going to stick with Dopey, Sneezy, Sleepy. I guess not.
Oh, there's diversity, inclusion-y as well. So
inclusion-y. That's fantastic. So let's see. I was wondering. I wanted to go over some. If anybody has any other season 2 stuff, I'd like to hear it. If not, I was thinking about going over some of your favorite theories. So in the chat, if you have a favorite theory, please put it in either Rumble or YouTube's chat, and we will look at it. We have 9 people watching on Rumble right now. So please, guys, follow me over on Rumble. I'd appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. It will really help out. And if you're on YouTube, I'd rather be over on Rumble. So,
Well, I mean, for me, my favorite theory, or my /biggest theory is, I know it's not true, but Lars Strong is a warg or a green seer. Like, I like that theory.
Yes. It kind of makes sense though in the show.
If
we're just talking show,
Yeah, if you're just talking show, like, because it wasn't so much like the Stark line, everything being wargs and that sort of thing in there. So maybe he's a warg, but like. There's nothing that proves it in the series, and that's the hardest part. It's just a headcanon theory.
Well, the thing we have to see is if anyone in his family line married a Stark after the Warg King battles, or were like the product of, even if one of the female Starks married out of the family, so it's not like a Stark name, but married a Strong, or married somebody else and then their child married a Strong, because that's why so many people wanted to start marrying into the Stark line, because they were the ones that got the Warg bloodline from the Warg King's daughters and wives and stuff like that.
I know that the Strongs do have some First Men blood in them. Right. I don't remember how though.
Well, they're I think they were originally a North family and then came a little more south when they were given Harrenhal.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody was First Men pretty much until the Andals came over. So, I mean, they either were already, they just didn't marry into, or they only married a little bit into, the Andals line, but they are a First Man family, definitely. The thing is, it's not all First Men. It's really from the bloodline of the Starks after they defeated the Warg King, because what they did was they put him and his sons to the knife, and then they took his daughters to marry, and that's how they got it in their blood.
That's how they added the blood into the family line. Yeah.
Right. Drink the blood. Let's see.
While you're looking for something, they do keep showing off all of the rats in
that's what I was
the
gonna
castle.
say. Yep.
And also the Werewood.
Yep. Yeah.
So either somebody's listening in, whether
think
it's
about it. I'm sorry,
King Bran or whoever.
Well,
Green say it makes more sense than a war in that aspect. There.
Well, he would have to be a green seer or just at least a skin changer. He would have to be a skin changer because a warg is only a direwolf. Skin changers do all different types of animals, and a green seer does all the animals plus the werewood net. I don't know if wargs can see through the trees. So he would probably have to be a green seer. The thing is King's Landing does not have a werewood tree, but they made sure that a lot of stuff happens in front of a werewood tree in King's Landing in the show. Because I believe the heart tree in King's Landing is like an oak or something like that. It's because Sansa goes there quite often in before she goes to the Vale. So why did they add this werewood tree in the show? Well, it's because you're right. I believe someone's looking through it. Is it Lars? Most likely. Could it be Bloodraven? I mean, is he there? No, he's not there. I'm sorry. Bloodraven's not even born yet. But could it be Lars? It could be. The rats are always in places where no one else is, but he gets the information. So he could be jumping into rats.
Bloodraven could be looking back at it, trying to find something.
You're so smart. I knew there was a reason I said Bloodraven. You're right. I mean, he's kind of timeless now.
He might be checking the bloodline, seeing who needs to be.
Could be Bran.
Yeah.
Time traveling Bran. So here, let me share this. House of the Dragon fans have a wild theory about Lars Strong, and I think I'm buying it. House of Dragon 6th episode, blah, 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 blah. Bring up one of the biggest of Strong's theories. All right, so let's see. After Game of Thrones' divisive final season, why do you have to remind us? Fans were given a few years away from Westeros, but all that changed with HBO's new series, House of the Dragon, which is set 172 years before, I think it's like 6, actually, years before the birth of Emilia Clarke's Dany. There are countless theories about how George R. R. Martin's story will be adapted. As the book already contains spoilers, fans of the fantasy prequel have a wild theory about Lars Strong, and I think I'm buying it. Matthew Needham debuted as Lars Strong in the 3rd episode of House of the Dragon, titled Second of His Name, but the last 2 episodes, he really took power in the narrative, emerging as a Littlefinger-esque character who is capable of murder. A fan theory has been circulating around Lars the Clubfoot, namely that he might be a warg or green seer like Bran Stark. Again, if you think he's a warg, you're an idiot. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. If you're a fan theorist and say he's a warg, wargs are only direwolves. He's either a skin changer or a green seer. I said it. Do I have to go through all this? Okay, in the Game of Thrones books,
do you want me to read?
Yeah, please. I hate reading.
In the Game of Thrones books, both Arya and Bran have the ability to warg into animals. Well, warg into direwolves, but in the show they focus entirely on Bran. Animals. In the show, they focus entirely on Bran the Broken for his ability.
You were going to say it, weren't you, Mason? Both of them can.
All of the Starks have the ability.
Right, to warg.
Sansa just doesn't get to develop it in time.
Right, because her direwolf is murdered.
Yeah.
But Arya and Bran are skin changers, at least, because she goes into a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she goes into a cat when she's blinded, and then she also goes across the freaking ocean to Nymeria. So, like, she actually is quite powerful skin changer, and I believe all the Starks most likely were, like the sad theory that that Robb skin changed into Grey Wolf and then died again. Yeah, so he got murdered, jumped into Grey Wind, and died. I said Grey Wolf, Grey Wind, and then was murdered again, which is so sad.
And it didn't say anything about Jon either. It's kind of important.
Well, he definitely jumped in. Well, he had dreams, where he was running around. But the reason why I believe and a lot of people believe he jumped into Ghost right before he was murdered was because it's the same exact thing that happened to Rob. Both of them, the last words were the words of their direwolves. So I believe they both jumped into their direwolves. The only difference was Grey Wind was trapped and murdered, which sucked. You put the damn thing in the state. What an idiot. You're a king. No one can tell you not to bring your freaking direwolf with you. Like, the first thing I would think is, okay, they don't want my direwolf with me. I just totally married somebody else. This dude's an asshole, but I'm going to, just lock him up. Lock him up. You moron, Rob.
That's
Sorry.
He was a mama's boy. That's
he
why.
Was such. Your freaking mother got you murdered. Right.
Yeah, but at least she came back.
Yeah, she came back and she's lovely. Lovely.
In the show, they focused entirely on Bran the Broken for this ability, and with his powers coming seemingly as a result of being pushed out of a tower by Jaime Lannister in episode 1. And given Lars Strong's intimate knowledge of what's happening in King's Landing, some think he might possess the same abilities. After all, he's similarly physically disabled in universe.
That's dumb. That's not what caused it. The accident helped. The only reason the accident helped it along because he went into a deep sleep or a coma.
You went to a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like what happened for Arya is she lost her sight. So she was in darkness. And that's so I get the idea of a disability, but it's the darkness, and all he was born with a club foot. So that
he
one
would know
thing
any better is how he was born.
Right, exactly.
The theory about Lars Strong began during Rhaenyra's disastrous wedding in episode 5. At the tail end of the episode, the ceremony happens in privacy following Christian Cole's brutal murder of Laenor's boyfriend, Joffrey. Eventually, the camera pans out and we see a rat lap up the blood of Joffrey as the wedding continues. This might have been just a metaphor for the way death brings out predators, but episode 6 of the show ended up adding fuel to the fire of this fan rumor. House of the Dragon's 6th episode, The Princess and the Queen, featured a 10-year time jump and debuted a new cast. It was also Lars Strong's arrival as full-blown villain. He made the decision to murder his brother and father, therefore becoming the Lord of Harrenhal and the head of House Strong. But the theory about him possibly being a warg got more steam thanks to the one scene with King Viserys. Because as he weeps alone, we see yet another rat. This time it walks through a ledge in plain view of the King of Westeros. Could both of these rats actually be under the control of Larys? It remains to be seen, but it would certainly explain how he's privy to so much secret information within the keep.
A second and think about that. Let's see. What do we have here? To be fair, the Starks are not known for being That is true. That is true. Yeah. Ned. Some people thought he jumped into a bird. And Ned is still alive. All right. Let's see. Let's just finish it off and then we'll talk about it.
Alrighty. Of course, it's more than possible that these theories about Lars Strong are off base, and the rats surrounding King Viserys are merely a metaphor about the way his body and reign are rotting from the inside out. But since House of the Dragon has been leaning into more magical elements of Westeros, only time will tell. But who wouldn't want to see another warg in the prequel series? Strong's POV was never clear in the books, so it does seem like the show has freedom with the character. That's a good point, actually. I mean, not the warg part, but the regardless of whether or not.
Yeah, but it was also never shown to be a Targaryen. Does that mean that we can make him a Targaryen down the line somehow?
No.
Well, that would give you like telepathic power with a dragon, but that's close enough, right? He could be a Targaryen because I mean, you're saying he's jumping into rats as a warg, you idiot. Whoever wrote this, I'm sorry, I'm mad.
Regardless of whether or not he's given magical powers, it's clear that Lars Strong is going to be a major player in House of the Dragon. He's already murdered his loved ones to gain more power, and as well as Queen Alicent Hightower to him forever. And the smart money says he's only just getting started. House of the Dragon airs new episodes, blah, blah, blah.
I've got a theory that kind of might work with this, even though I completely disagree with it. Why do you think he's the one character that's obsessed with feet? Because when he's a rat, that's the height. That's all he's seeing.
So it gets them all off.
He sees them as big and powerful objects.
That is a cool
that could squash
thought.
him. That could squash him, right?
Maybe he was stepped on as the thing, and it gave him some sort of weird feeling.
Right. That's interesting.
I thought he was just obsessed with like dainty feet because of the fact that he's club-footed,
I mean, that makes
and
sense.
he must think his own feet, or at least that one foot, is
don't
ugly.
you use logic to beat my thing, Tina? That's not what we do here.
I'm not doing that. I said you had a fantastic theory. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yes, but obviously the clubfoot thing makes way more sense than what I just said, and I never even thought of it until now.
Yeah. Stop being so smart. God.
Sorry.
Yeah, I could see him being a skin changer. And with their adding the Werewood Tree, like I would see them trying to make him a green seer. Like, because
see, I've heard the theory that the Greenwood Tree isn't even there. It's just we're just seeing that because it's they're doing like a
there is no Werewood Tree in King's Landing.
No, but I'm saying in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we're seeing it because the story that we're seeing is someone looking back in the past from a tree in the future. And that's just a representation of the point in time.
Yeah, but there is no tree in the future either.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm
I hear
saying
what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying there's a good chance because you've never seen anyone actually interact with the tree. We've just seen it there.
Yeah, but the thing with the tree is like if the tree isn't there at that time, you can't see through it. It has to be in that place at that time to record the memory.
Maybe there was a pot plant.
It could have been a sapling at the time. You know what I mean? Like, but there was no tree anyway. So that's why I can't take this as canon. Like, you're telling me there's this massive, gorgeous, freaking Werewood Tree in King's Landing, and there's not. So,
well, you know how they like the old gods down there. So
yeah, they love them. They're so into it. Yeah,
I was wondering, who would have planted the Werewood Tree in King's Landing?
It would have had to still be there after
Right.
the Andals, and that the Andals cut most of them down in the south. So
probably Maegor. You know how much he loved religion.
Yeah, he did. He did.
That's true.
Maegor loved the religion. What were you gonna say, Mason?
So maybe Bran goes back in time and stops everybody that tries to chop it down. Boom, just solved it.
Boom. He finds Hodors in every era. Like, all of a sudden some poor, mindless little kid that had, had a horse kick him in the head. He's coming running out. Oh, don't kill
So that one's saying, "Sa-tree, sa-tree, save the tree."
Yeah, save the tree. Yeah. That's pretty
what are you
much
talking about? That's just my brother, Sa-tree. You know
Sa-tree.
Sa-tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sa-tree.
He just loves saying it. What are you going to
Bran's the first environmentalist, making everybody chain themselves to trees.
That's great.
He does have a thing for wood because, hold the door. Door's made of wood. So
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Trying to figure. I saw a theory and I don't know what it is. It's from like 2005. D plus D equals T. Tyrion is the equal, I think. But who's D and D? Not Dave and Dan. What?
Dave and Dan equals terrible. There's something to that.
Yeah, right.
Wait, so
Should we read it?
They're saying that he's Targaryen?
I don't know. Let's read it. All right, screw it. We're gonna read it. I've never heard of this one. I've heard of a lot of this plus this equals this. You have the Danny and Danny one.
Out of the 700, there was one that was right, and it was the most obvious.
Right, and I still don't think it's right. There is one theory that people will keep telling me I'm wrong, but you can't prove to me I am. So I believe that when Bran is in his coma, there's the three-eyed raven or the three-eyed crow, and everyone says that's Blood Raven. I don't think it is. Every time Blood Raven speaks to him in his dreams, he comes as a Werewood Tree. But yet then there's the three-eyed crow also speaking to him. And when he's introduced to Leaf and then Blood Raven, both of them, he says, is he the three-eyed crow? And Leaf says, I don't know what you're talking about. And when he says it to Blood Raven, he goes, yes, I was once a crow, a brother of the Night Watch. So he totally didn't know what he meant by that. I still think somebody else is the three-eyed crow. But everybody tells me, no, it was proven that it was him. But you still can't show me.
The Three-eyed Crow is the Night King. That's why he has that link with him.
There's no Night King, though, in the show. Or I mean in the books.
Yeah, I know. But, there is, but he just hasn't been resurrected yet.
Right, maybe. I think there's somebody else that's working for the others, that, including the Faceless Man, working for the Great Other. That is the Three-Eyed Crow.
That's not a thing.
It's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Dan and Dave equals talentless. I like that one. That's a good one. All right, let's see.
So I have an idea, but it's not like fully formed yet.
Okay.
So there's the Three-Eyed Crow,
mm-hmm.
and then there's the three people that are connected to the Three-Eyed Crow, which would be Bloodraven, Bran, and Euron.
Right.
So
right.
There's something there. I don't quite know what though.
Oh, they each share an eye, or they each have an eye in the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, two of them both. Well, let's think about it. Okay, so Bloodraven has a root coming out of one of his eyes, so he only has one eye. Euron only has one eye. The other one, I believe, is Obsidian. And Bran at the moment has two eyes, which I bet you now he loses an eye in the next two books. So they all have one eye, making three eyes.
Odin has one eye. He gives it up for knowledge.
Right.
So
that's a good connection. Now, when you say obsidian, as in dragon glass, or do they call it? Okay, so they call
Yeah, dragon glass.
Because he gave that up to get the Valyrian armor, right?
That I don't remember. I just remember in a dream. I think it might be even in the Forsaken dream when Aeron Greyjoy is tripping balls. He like his brother lifts his eye and shows his true eye.
He shows his true. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's actually going to be in the book or not, because I heard he's been, instead of writing new chapters, messing with the old ones. But
George has changed it. He said, "I love the TV version of it. That 70s rocker whore guy. That's what I'm going for. Forget the mystic cool guy covered in Valyrian armor. This guy just wants to fuck the queen."
Yeah, that's it. But yeah,
Finger in the bum.
Euron definitely. I mean, Bloodraven had to come to him at some point. Somebody came to him because he always talks about flying and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe Bloodraven is the Three-Eyed Crow, but I truly think, why would he come also as a Werewood Tree in the dreams and then not know what Bran's talking about when he brings it up? Like, I don't see what I come to you as. It's what
each eye makes more sense. Like with how they've shown connected. It, and I mean, I hope it's not like some weird line where it's just like, Bran, how you were when you could only see out of one eye. You're like, wait, what? I mean, he needs to get like shot in the eye with a crossbow or something like that. Something where you think he's going to die, but then he survives.
And he has one eye.
Because then he would be Bran the Broken.
Right.
Like
really broken. Shit.
Give him a club foot and a weird
we
fetish
want
too,
the best story. Okay, let's see. So this is from Best of 2015.
That line still pisses me off. Sorry, who has a better story? I'm like, the guy that died and come back to fucking life.
Literally, that's Dan and Dave. That is Dan and Dave putting themselves into the story. Brilliant. They think, Weiss did it. Benioff thought he was brilliant. Literally by the end, I truly believe this. He forgot that he didn't write the books. He makes it seem like it was his story when it's really only good seasons and only good, episodes were written by or part of George's work.
Season 6 was an anomaly for them, I think.
Season 6 was okay.
It was better than the other ones that they did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at all the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
6 was the only one that you can say, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, true. I
even wonder if Benioff read the books at all.
You know what?
It was Weiss who did the whole explanation of the pitch to Martin.
Yes, he brought it up to
Benioff was still busy trying to work on plugging all those plot holes that he left in freaking Lost.
Yeah, right? I didn't realize that was him. I didn't realize he was part of the Lost crew. That makes
much sense. Then all that mystical stuff they didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And the other writer who was saying, like, they're all leaning so much more into the magical. Well, the truth is, there was magic at this time. After the dragons die off, magic starts to disappear. So, there wasn't really, in the first Game of Thrones books, there's 3 times you see, 2 times actual magic, 3rd time probably an illusion. So you have the White Walkers at the very beginning, you have the dragons at the very end, and you have the warlocks of Karth doing some like illusion stuff, so it makes it seem like he walks like he kind of jumps space. Other than that,
but even with those, like I don't consider the White Walkers magic because it's never like we don't know they're magic. They're beings.
That's
they're,
their race. Yeah,
that's their race. That's what I'm saying. Like, and same thing with the dragons.
right.
They have magic in them, but they're not a magical beast. They're not formed from magic. So yeah, I don't even really think there is magic in the first book.
No, well, I mean, if any, the only thing is magical are two races that otherwise seem magical to us.
Well,
Yeah, but I mean that's within the context of that world. That
Yes.
wouldn't be magical though.
Right. True.
so you have the White Walkers that anywhere they go, winter follows them. I would consider that magic.
Mm-hmm.
You also have
No. See, I completely
Mizdur.
disagree. I completely disagree with that theory because I think that they don't follow winter. That winter doesn't follow them. They follow winter. That's the if they had the ability to merge all the way down, they would. They need the cold to survive. That's why they haven't done anything for 100 years because there hasn't been a big winter that's come down. They know when winter is coming.
I disagree.
So therefore,
No, I disagree. I agree with Mason on that. They bring cold with them, or at least it's like a symbiotic thing, like the type of cold they need. Because like in that first
Prologue.
Thank you. Like it literally starts to get really, really cold when they appear, but later on in the series, people are in that area and it's not as cold because they're gone. So it's not like they brought it. Like the winter didn't come down and then say, "Oh, I'm backing up winter." I think they literally can. They don't. It's like a symbiotic thing. It just happens where they go. It gets colder.
I can definitely see that. I mean, that's the story of ghosts, and
Yeah.
they're kind of deathly beings, so to speak.
True.
So, and people said they feel cold when they see a ghost or
Yeah.
something that resembles that.
And then like they have the ability to raise whites, and while R'hllor has the ability to raise fire whites, if you want to call them. Like Catelyn or the guy who gave it to her. Damn, who also has one eye.
Ooh.
oh yeah, true.
Oh my god, I'm thinking his name. Who's the guy who dies like 10, 9
Like 40 times, yeah.
He's from the
Lord
Stormlands.
Deadfire. Fuck, what's his name?
He's from the Stormlands. He goes because Ned sends him.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking?
Beric Dondarrion.
Beric Dondarrion. That's
Targaryen.
it. Whew, that was scary. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Good pull, Tina.
Mason comes in for the save.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like, he's also one-eyed, but he's seen death and come back. It's kind of crazy. Oh yeah. Okay, Thor. Jeez. All right.
Had to sneak in MCU somehow,
Yeah. Well, some people think this story is a sci-fi.
You love quoting Loki's brother. God.
Yeah, right. Some people think it's a sci-fi story. Like some people think it's a post-apocalyptic story. Like everything.
Ooh, like
Yeah.
the Dragons of Pern and McCaffrey.
I kind of look. There's like that black oily stone that no one knows what it is, and there are some things that could tell you like some major catastrophe happened, like all the underground places under some of the major cities, Winterfell's crypts, Lannisport, or not Lannisport, wherever they
Casterly
are.
Rock.
Yeah, but that's from the mines, so could have it's been there, but was it there? I don't know.
The structures is one thing. We haven't really seen the way in which they're able to build, like their engineering. There's no real like great engineering feats that we were able to be shown or seen. We're just seeing the end product.
Right, like the high tower, the wall,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like the wall to me is
that's like the idea that was man-made is
Right.
something that I think we would struggle with today.
right. If you ever saw it from as far as you can see one way to the other in this massive just wall of ice that never melts, You know, like, because if you think about it, yes, it has been summer for 9 years, and granted, it still snows up there, but for a massive thing of ice like that, not to like lose some height when the sun's out for a week or two straight, it's just crazy to me.
Well, not to get really slippery for the poor bastards up the top, and it's a slight downward slope, and you just slide off.
Because they do say
I do remember reading. Yeah, I was gonna say I do remember reading when they had to like put sand or something for traction at the top of the wall.
Right, it does weep, but it never gets smaller.
Right.
It never like melts. It just like, but it will lose. Like they say there's runes.
Didn't they salt it? They said.
That I don't remember. I think they sanded it or something.
Sanded, yeah.
Yeah. I know they said in some of the history book of Westeros say that they put the building, Brand the Builder, helped build it with giants, and that in the base there's runes all through it, magical runes that keep it from, one, allowing the White Walkers to cross, two, from melting, and it kind of gives you that when you go underneath it and there's a Werewood door that talks to you. So with the ancient Night's Watch oath, that's a little different than the newer one, which is very interesting because you see what they were really focusing on back then. So
right.
There's so many things in this.
The TV series blows that out of the water because it was the White Walker dragon that blows it down.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
which a lot of people think that's what's going to take to bring it down, but
it doesn't make sense. They resurrected it. It's now a White Walker. That's the point. It's all a white flyer.
Right.
But if you've got a dragon, just fly them over the top.
Well, there's records of dragons being scared to go near it. Like this King Jaharis' wife Alicent, she went to the wall and the whole time her dragon freaked out. Also, when they were in Winterfell, a lot of people think her dragon or one of the people during the dances dragons, which son didn't die? Rhaenyra's. Not Jace, right? Jace died?
Jace died, right? And that's Viserys is still alive.
I think it's the other way around. I think Jace is alive, but Luke dies.
Yes,
okay,
you're right.
Okay, so Jace goes to the Vale and then goes to Winterfell. And a lot of people, it's either his or hers that found being in the crypt was where they wanted to be. And people think it got to the lower level and left a stash of eggs there. Some people say that the Horn of Winter is actually a horn that raises the dead. That's why in the crypts, the Starks hold iron swords so that they can't be raised because iron keeps them in place. I don't know, something like that. Good times. Oh, Cam, what's up? You're magical racists. Heard when I came on, the others bring the cold. They have just been husbanding, building their power. Dondarrion and the Red Priest Thor of Myr became the brothers without banners. The magic of the wall kept them from crossing the wall. Yeah, see, you're with me. Yeah, the brother without banners. But it was Dondarrion that was told,
they did cross the wall, didn't they?
Who? People can cross the wall.
No.
Beric Dondarrion, I thought he went with them.
No, he didn't. No, that was in the show.
Oh, in the show, sorry.
Oh, yes. He's dead. He's dead in the books. He gave Catelyn his power.
That's right.
He gave her, because Thor's of Myr wouldn't give Catelyn the kiss of death because she was too far gone. So he gave her kiss of life. So he gave her the kiss of life and gave his power to her. But the thing is, when they die, that's what they focus on when they come back. So he was told by Ned to defend the people of the Riverlands and hunt down Lannister troops. And when he died, that was his mission. So when he awoke, that's all he wanted to do.
So does that mean that Lady Stoneheart can't actually go past the wall then?
I doubt she could. But no, maybe that's wrong because
she's technically not one of the brothers, but even though it's the same magic,
she's a fire white. So, but what's her name says she feels more powerful near the wall, Melisandre. So
yeah,
with their god might have more power there because it's a nexus point of magic. I don't know. That's a good question. I know it blocks the White Walker's power. Maybe it allows firepower to go through it to stop them. So I don't know. Or if they go through, can they come back? I don't know. Like, oh yeah, you can go through, but you ain't coming back now.
Oh my god, that Hotel California them.
Right, totally. All right, so this D plus D. Okay, so there's something old and true in fantasy that speaks to something deep within us, the child. Okay, whatever. Never before seen parentage theory. D plus D equals T and R equals T. What? Before we begin, take a few moments to ponder what D plus D could be. If nothing makes sense, don't worry. It'll make 137% perfect sense in the moment.
Damon plus Daenerys equals Tyrion. There we go.
It's something weird. Here's Martin's big tell. King's Landing has 7 gates. You might think that 7 relates to the 7 gods or the 7 kingdoms, but what if the 7 was invented just to play with us, to mask the elaborate interrelation between A Song of Ice and Fire and one of the most famous works from the ancient Greek world, Thebes. Here, a fun fact: the ancients referred to Greek
7 circles of hell.
Yes, 7 gates as the 7 gates Thebes. In other words, King's Landing equals Thebes. From this humble starting point, we'll eventually arrive. Yeah, so coat yourself in tinfoil and let's dive down the deeps. Okay, whatever. What's so specific about Thebes? Thebes is most famous for being home to
Oedipus.
The one that wants to bang his mom. The legendary Oedipus killed his father, married his mother. Incest, if you haven't noticed, his major theme. King's Landing is to incest what Las Vegas is to gambling. But do we have our Oedipus? There's one clear candidate. His father disowned him from birth, like Oedipus. He's nearly universally hated, like Oedipus. And he kills his father, like Oedipus. Yes, that's right. Tyrion, our favorite dwarf, is destined to shag his mother, but his mother's dead. But before we address how
well, here's the thing. He's been inside his mother. So does that count?
Yeah. So what they're going to say is Dany somehow is his mom. How that doesn't make any sense. Let's quickly flesh out a few similarities. I don't care about that part. Okay, skipping. Joanne Larry. Yeah, she's dead. Yes, that does appear to be kink in the theory. Or kinky. Yay. But let's not get bogged down by technicalities yet. I plan to resolve the problem of her death unconventionally.
Martin paying him to throw like sentences and phrases into this to make
I'm so confused. So she's not the real mom. A womb and birth canal does not make a biological mother. Whoa. Okay, this is what? How old is this? If I take my eggs, get my husband to sperm one up, and implant them into your womb.
To sperm one up?
Yeah. I'm the real mother. No, we've got Tyrion is an early example of surrogate pregnancy.
I was like, they did in vitro or something?
So weird. But then who is Tyrion's real mother? Dany? Father? Drago? D plus, oh my God. They're saying he is Dany's baby? How did he live? D plus D equals T. You heard it here, folks. Before we see the ironclad support for such a theory, let's note the remarkable similarities between Dany's child and Tyrion. Rhaegar versus Tyrion. Dany gives birth to a child that Mirror Mazdur claims is hideously deformed, half a human, and fiendish, monstrous, she says. Twisted, I drew him forth myself. He was scaled like a lizard, blind with the stub of a tail, small leather wings like the wings of a bat. Tyrion can easily be associated with each and every one of Rhaegar's characteristics. This association reveals their elaborate interrelation. Tyrion, like Rhaegar, has been called twisted little monkey demon, a twisted little monster. Your head was monstrously huge. We heard half again the size of your body, and you had been born with thick black hair and a beard besides an evil eye and lion's claw. Your teeth were so long you could not close your mouth, and between your legs was a girl's private as well as a boy's. Yeah, but that was That was what the Red Viper, what's his name, was told as like what he was going to find when he got there.
Yeah, Oberyn.
Oberyn, yeah.
Can you see what date this was published on?
It's old. This is best of 2015, so it's 8 years old.
Oh, so there's not like a month and day?
No.
Okay.
Why? What do you think?
I think this might be an April Fool's. It's kind of wacky.
Okay, maybe. We'll skip all that.
This is a lot of work for an April Fool's.
Yeah, right? Cycle of time. Okay. Big question.
I don't recall a Soul of Ice and Fire having a bunch of turkey basters. So
right. When the sun rises.
Oh, well, because Mason doesn't remember it. They didn't have turkey basters. Wow.
Well, I'm sure they had funnels, and as long as anybody understands that this
funnel and the ability to do a handstand.
A goes into slot B, then
exactly.
Say,
Are you saying that no one knew how to do a handstand? Handstand plus funnel equals turkey baster.
I'm so confused by what she's putting here. I don't even want to read it. Somehow, Mary Mazdul, because of like the.
There's a recap at the bottom. It looked like you might be able to just read.
Okay, yeah. Using Drago's soul, Miri transported Rhaego the fetus back in time where he's delivered by an already pregnant Joanna. Joanna's fetus, fathered by Tywin or Aerys, doesn't make it. A collateral blood magic caused the fetus to resemble Rhaego, and it began to decay. After being dead for years, Miri sends it back to the future and delivers it from Dany's womb. So what, the one that died that he replaced? Okay, maybe. Back in the past, Rhaego gets named Tyrion. Tyrion lives as a Lannister for 34 years, even though he has already absorbed his biological father, Drogo. What? Absorbed his biological father, Drogo. Tyrion kills his adopted father, Tywin, for shits. Tyrion returns
Not
to
for shits, on the shitter. There's a difference.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. To complete Miri's prophecy, then her husband will return and not before. Tyrion marries Dany, his mother. The world shudders as Tyrion begins to mount it. A very small man can cast a very large shadow. What the ever-loving hell is this? So Dany's going to marry Tyrion because he kills her husband.
George did say Tyrion is the one character he's not going to kill off. And it's the character that he sees himself most in. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
Dany's a 14-year-old girl. It's kind of messed up.
It's so stupid. Technical note. The father of Joanne's fetus doesn't matter in the end since its purpose is to die for years. The father could be Moon Boy for all I know. TLDR. The half-man is the stallion who mounts the world. Oh my God, because he'll fly a dragon? Did anybody just say you're nuts?
Okay, so I just checked and they had either 3 or 4 books out, depending on when this was published.
Right. Still, how the hell would you ever think that was it? I don't know.
I mean, I understand that. I mean, I think that there's got to be something else that comes of the fact that, Dany was unable to get pregnant until she sees her husband again.
Well, she would have to, she wouldn't even be able to before she did certain things. So before you go north, you have to go south. Before you go east, you have to go here. It says it somewhere here. Both the things that are said to her. Mary says, when the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, then he will return to you. And it's also when mountains turn to dust, all this stuff. And then Quaithe says, to go north, you must go south. To reach the west, you must go east. To go forward, you must go back. But like a lot of people thought that was Dany going to.
Yeah, that was going to Marine and back.
But it was not Marine. It was that
Asshai.
Asshai.
Yeah.
Which he said someone would go, and now he's saying someone in flashback. So it's probably going to be Melisandre.
So, sorry, you just mentioned the Quaithe. I now remember another theory about the Quaithe.
What's that?
But the Quaith is actually founded initially by Damon's missus. Shit. Oh my god. Masari.
Masari is Quaith?
No. That's her network. Years later, with the Quaith and everything.
Karth or Quaith? Are you saying the city or the person?
The person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people think it's Quaith is the one that Bloodraven and Bittersteel fought over. Sierra Sea Star or something like that. Or is that one of the I think it was Sierra Sea Star, but that might be wrong. That might be somebody else. Right. The horse that mounts the world is a Dothraki prophecy. Right. And this person's trying to say that is Tyrion because he's a time traveling fetus.
He couldn't even mount a pony, let alone a horse or the world.
Though some people do think because a lot of people think that his mother Joanna was raped by this not Viserys,
King Aerys.
King Aerys, and he's actually a Targaryen.
See, that makes more sense time-wise. That at least they were around in the same century as each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. This is the dumbest thing. That is a dumb one. I'm sorry. Like, this person's so proud of themselves, and it is. I like Bolton better. The Bolton theory that Roose is a vampire. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that he's just raising Ramsay to take his body, to skin change him. That's so cool. I like it. There's another one that Littlefinger's the hero.
You know what? After how he was treated in the series, I fucking hope so.
Could be, man.
Could be. Dude, talk about like great characters getting dickhead send-offs. Like, if George enters the book that way, maybe literally that's what he wanted to do. Maybe he just gave up and just went, "Oh yeah, Arya just kills this one," and then that happens, and then I don't know. Littlefinger gets outsmarted by fucking Sansa. The end.
It's not even Sansa. It's really Bran.
Yeah.
Bran tells her like the whole, past and future and all that shit. Like, Arya killing him, like, and him begging for his life. Like, I could see him begging maybe for his life if he really thinks he's gonna die. But I don't know. Just again, they made he wasn't as bad as Tyrion and Varys being just dumb by the end. Like, Varys getting caught sending out letters. He would never get caught.
Yeah, he kind of got lucky, I guess. He missed the brunt of the attack.
Right? It's just dumb, though. It's so dumb.
And they cut out all the like really interesting stuff that's at the end of like Dance.
Right.
Where he's like moving the pieces to get control of the veil.
Yeah.
Carry the air.
There is a good theory though out there that, and I have to find it, that the veil already is prepared for his, like, he thinks he is moving chess pieces, but the veil already knows.
They're already prepared for it.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool one. Let's see. Why did the Knights of the Vale reject escort? Nope.
Because George is big on planting seeds for consequences later on. Something, agreement happens here. It gets taken. Something changes later on. The consequences happen a few, a book later or a chapter later, sort of thing. So I'm wondering what things have already been set up where the scale's already tipped. We just don't know it yet. Like the whole thing with the Red Wedding. We never knew that was what was happening.
Right.
But that had already been set in motion.
Right.
sort of thing. So I wonder if there's something like that that's coming up in the next book, which we'll get in 18 years, to find out. Like, I wonder what the next tipping point is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
More importantly, what's the next wedding, and what color is it?
So we've had what? Red, purple,
purple,
white wedding. Some people said he got. See, these are stupid because a lot of these are Game of Thrones theories and not the book. But there was one. Okay.
Well, the next big thing that's coming up is going to be the Northern Conspiracy. It's like all the Northern Lords hate the Boltons. They're like, I'm the only true person loyal to the Starks. Not really that if one of them would step up, well,
the best one is the Manderleys. I mean, the Manderleys and the Manderleys and the there was another family that were told by Rob to build ships. And we don't know where those ships are.
Where's Blackfish in the books?
He's out there.
He's still out there. Okay,
yeah.
Because he's a guy that I'd want fighting on my side.
Right. That dude is crazy. He's a good fighter at his age and everything. Damn it, man. Where is it? It was a good one too. I was actually like, that's not a bad. That's kind of a cool thing. But I can't find it now. So, what I was gonna say though is, you guys were just talking about what theory or what thing? Oh yeah. So the Northern Conspiracy is pretty cool. I like the Maester Conspiracy the most. They do not want magic back in the world. Yeah, the Vale hates Littlefinger. The Bronzians of the Vale will kill him. Yeah, and this theory was saying like they're just playing along right now. They all know he thinks he's moving pieces. They all know it's Sansa. That's why what's her name is with Sansa the whole time, and they're always chatting. And Sansa keeps slipping. The girl,
because she dog shit at being secretive.
Right. What's the reason? You know what I mean? Like, Liza died. Killed herself. Catelyn and the Starks are gone.
She slipped and fell down a hole.
Right, but the Vale is supportive of the Starks and of the Tullys. So why not? Not why this is Sansa Stark and she needs your help. The Vale has the only army that hasn't been touched by war. So like they literally
and they're the ones that keep growing. That's the point. Like, yeah, I definitely like. I can see that being the main plot point on the next book. So them amassing something behind the scenes, sort of thing, and then it getting found out at the last minute. I can get that. That makes way more sense,
right?
Than what's going on. As for the Maester theory, I've seen nothing to disprove it, but I haven't seen anything to confirm it.
The only one I saw, the only thing I could say you kind of see is the push of Ned Stark's father and his maester kind of pushing him into marrying the sons and daughters out of the north.
Out of the north, yeah.
That's the biggest one. But that could have been his idea.
I felt like we got more ammo and everything from the House of the Dragon, which they are saying is a part of book canon.
Right.
So are we to take the fact the way in which the Maesters are with the dragons in that one into account? Because if it is, then there is a lot of evidence to support that theory.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I don't know. Like, is Game of Thrones the TV series in book canon now, or is the House of Dragon a different series to House of the Dragon?
Well, see, that's the tough thing, man. They're trying to tell us, or at least somebody said it at the beginning, that this is the definitive truth of what happened at this time. So it's not Mushroom, or it's not Maester, whatever his name is. Yeah. But I can't believe that to be, because they're changing the story up. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they've brought in the prophecy as well. That wasn't there. So
yeah. Well, now that's one thing George is trying to make it seem like Aegon knew. That's why he wanted to bring the Seven Kingdoms together, blah, blah, blah.
Aegon knew it all roads lead to Arya.
Yeah, I think that's right. All roads lead to Arya. Yeah.
I mean, the Targaryens don't even have their purple eyes. It's like, I don't know how you could make that canon. And that's like that's their defining feature.
Well, at least they nailed the Valyrians. Well, that we can say.
Yeah, I mean, they look exactly like them. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I don't want it to be canon because I'm enjoying it, and I do not think that series is canon, Game of Thrones. So just leave it separate. Leave it its own world. The TV series is its own world. The books is,
I think that makes more sense. Also, another theory I just remembered about being post-apocalyptic. That's the reason why people can't go to Valyrian and everything like that. Is because it's nuclear fallout.
Right.
Like and that's like people go there and they die. That's why when someone coming back with riches of the past, it is crazy. Like he had like some sort of immunity or magic to radiation.
Right, but like it's the type of nuclear bomb, or like it's different in that world. So like instead of getting radiation poisoning, you get the stone,
like stone skin and that.
Yeah, whatever that one's called. And that's because they're all over that place. When people go through that near that area, the stone men are around. That's what gets what's not Tyrion, but
John Connington.
Yeah, John Con. Right.
Yeah. He gets
because he saves Tyrion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was getting confused with the show where what's his name saves Tyrion.
Where with Captain Friendzone.
Yeah, Captain Friendzone. But just like the show, John Con hates bells. Dany should love him. But yeah, when she hears bells, let's not just burn down the keep. Let's just slaughter everybody. They'll love me.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I've won the battle. What I'm gonna do? Gonna roast some kids.
You gotta kill the kids.
And look, I've got a new black outfit on because now I'm bad.
I'm telling you, man, it's fun. But I'm starting to lose my voice. I can't believe it. What do you say here? I believe it was an interview with Westeros podcast that asked George that question about canon. I believe he said he did not consider one as canon above the other. Wait a minute, are you talking history of Westeros had him on? Or was it like they asked a question and recorded it? Because I love those. History of Westeros is a great channel. Those guys have really, man, you want to talk about in-depth about any topic. They're like 3-hour long live streams, and they're so good to watch. Like I could sit there and listen to these guys just talk about it for freaking hours. I'm actually a Facebook friend of the main guy, and he hates my political views, so he sometimes comes after me. But other than that, he's a great guy.
Same with old Chief Dex.
I wouldn't mind that guy. That guy's great too. Yeah,
I don't mind Glidus either. I think he's pretty cool.
What else? Anything else though?
I'm trying to remember the ones.
I'll have to plan a better Monday next week. It's kind of hard. I don't know. I'd like to see what people would like to do with it, though. Do you want us to go over book chapters again, or theories again, or what you want to talk about? Because I'd like to keep this going till House of the Dragon starts up again, and then Gary has me on his channel finally.
Yeah, I'll ask you when I'm on next week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
What?
All right. We'll talk about that after the show. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Mason, would you like to sport your channel? Throughout your channel
Spork
to everybody?
it out, mate. Spork it.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
So yeah, everybody come check me out at Free Folk of Fandom on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. Sub if you think I've earned it.
Sub anyways. Doesn't take anything. Just sub. Sorry.
I think the last thing I did was like an hour-long breakdown of Indiana Jones. And then I went from saying it was just okay to just absolutely hating it. So
I was on your channel, right?
Yeah, we did a Song of Ice and Fire appreciation stream.
Yeah, check that out.
You can check that out after this. If you're still in a Song of Ice and Fire mood, yeah, just follow me in places.
That's hot. I'll follow you anywhere. Bad takes?
Oh, well, gosh. Thanks for letting me join you guys again this week. When I'm not hanging out on Sporking News Podcast channel, you can find me on Vinny Art's channel on Fridays and Sunday evenings when we do all kinds of fun stuff. And you can always follow me on Twitter at Tina Bojan to find out where I'm popping up next because I keep causing trouble everywhere.
Thank you, Tina. And Mr. Grant Craig.
I've got a lot of stuff coming up on multiple people's channels, but one thing I want to say is for season 2, we have to get Blood and Cheese in, and I think I know it's not going to happen, but I always wanted to see Hugh Hammer played by Henry Cavill because I think he would have made the perfect character for that.
I do too.
Wow, yeah.
That's awesome.
But I couldn't handle him being a bastard, so he'd have to be, trueborn.
Yeah.
But apart from that, yeah, catch me this time next week. We're going to be talking more stuff. It'll be great.
Right. Aziz, that's it. I like Aziz. He's a great guy. Thank you, Grant. You're awesome. It's good seeing you, Cam. It's Vanessa. Like, I love seeing the faces I don't see during the other stupid, dumps and stuff we do because we're idiots. But you guys show up for this, and this means a lot to me. So I really appreciate. I appreciate everybody over on Rumble that's swung by. We held a pretty solid 6 to 12 people, so thank you very much. That's kind of a big deal. And we're at 359 over there, so let's get to 400. I'm hoping to put out more stuff, maybe shorts again to try to grow the channel a little bit. Because Culture Casino is going to beat me to 10 grand. So, that's great. I just want to use the buttons. All right. So thank you, everybody, for coming. I love you guys. I hope to see you all again soon. And we will see you next Monday for something about A Song of Ice and Fire. We will figure it out. Still trying to figure out if Spork of Ice and Fire or still the Stream by the Crossroads. I don't know which one's better. What do you guys think?
A Song of Spork and Fire. I like it.
I do like it too. A Spork of Ice and Fire.
I like it too. Later, everybody.
Good night.